how's it going, everybody? This is Paul with Spheric Reptiles again, and thank you for tuning in. I know you got a lot of choices, but I'm just going to ask you the question. What do you love about ball pythons? I mean, this right here is a female sulfur pinstripe heifer clown, and she's one of our girls. I really do like the way she looks. She might be a possible orange dream, but even without it, she's just a beautiful snake. And this is, goes to show a lot of people have these type of snakes, and over 300,000 have been sold or through Morph Market. And I just want to give you a little bit of history and maybe the 5 reasons why I love ball pythons. A lot of it's just personal, but let me tell you. So this is Python regis, which is a scientific name, in case you didn't know. And a lot of you already know that. And it's also called the royal python. It exists in the wild anywhere from, let's say, towards Central Africa or the Central African Republic, all the way as far west as Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Ivory Coast. I think those are some of the Chad, somewhere like that. But it got its name also, the royal python, because back in the day, Cleopatra was supposedly known to wear one on her wrist and around her neck. So it's been around humans for quite some time. And it was also traded as well, since it has a small size. But the number one thing that I like about ball pythons is that it's been bred for a while. So I know that when I get a ball python, it's probably not wild caught. It doesn't have that wild demeanor. And in fact, it's been kept in captivity for a while. And let's say that the oldest one as to date from 2021 is about 63 years old in the St. Louis Zoo. I need to check and see if that's already passed away or not, but 63 years old. And the oldest known living one was from a zoo in the Philadelphia Zoo, and it was 47 years old. So typically they live about 10 years in the wild and 20 to 30 years in captivity. Of course, there's nothing that can kill and eat them in captivity, hopefully. But that's a pretty good amount of time for a pet. That's one of the good things about having a cold-blooded creature. So, let me put her up and I'll talk about number 2. All right, everybody. So this is our black pastel head clown. Of course, it's part of the 8-ball complex. We did a video on that a little while ago. So you can see that this is what she is. And this goes right into the second thing that I love about ball pythons is the fact that they stay small. They stay small. If you look at any other python species that's hardy and that's also going to get along with you as a human, let's say the males get about 3 to 4 feet and the females get, anywhere from 5 to 6 feet. And that's over the course of 20 to 30 years. And of course I keep growing a little by little, but that's a pretty good thing, because that means that you don't have to buy a huge tank. So their footprint in your house, if you have one as a pet, is going to be very small. And I think that's a thing that's a benefit to them as well, because even though it is a snake, by all means it is a snake, and I think she's really beautiful, but in the big picture, it's not something that can actually hurt you. So that's another thing to love about ball pythons. So that's number 2, is the relatively small size and the small enclosure that you can have to keep these beautiful animals. So let me put her up, and then I'll get to number 3. Back, and this is our yellow-bellied piebald, and she's a female. She's right at close to 8 months old, and she's already up to about 700 to 800 grams. Just a really beautiful snake. And then if we look at the underbelly, you can see how she's all white, and you can see how the yellow belly just really contrasts the white and the saddles coming down the sides for it. And of course, she's got a lot of pattern, kind of mixed, but this is, to me, a great example of a piebald because I can see the pattern and I can see the white part. So, when you're just getting into snakes or ball pythons, I remember back in the 90s, just to see a piebald or an albino, it just took my mind, it just blew me away because I had never thought that that could happen in a snake. I was like, well, how did that happen? Is that a genetic abnormality? Is that snake sick? No, that's an actual pattern morph. But Number 3 on the list is the relatively easy feeding schedule. So 1 rodent per week, and you can have yourself a ball python. And when they're adults, you can do one rodent every 2 weeks if you get the appropriate size, which means you can go on vacation, you can go to work, you can go to a party at night. There's a lot of things you can do, because guess what? When you're not holding your ball python doesn't care. It's like the Shingles commercial. Shingles doesn't care. So that's the way I see ball python. So you can actually feed it, go on a nice little vacation. As long as it's not more than 2 weeks, I would say that would be safe, because you want to make sure that your ball python has the amount of water that it needs. But hey guys, that's number 3 on the list. It's relatively easy to feed, and it's pretty cheap, 1 rat a week compared to dog food or cat food. And I love dogs and cats. I'm not knocking on them. I'm just pro snake. You know what I'm saying? Pro snake. So hey guys, that's the yellow belly piebald and the number 3. So now I'll come back and go straight to number 4. So the 4th thing on the list, and this is a female pastel gravel, related to the yellow belly and the specter. And as you can see, her right there, you can see the relation to the yellow belly and the specter. She has a beautiful pattern. Of course, this is pastel, so it does lighten up the pattern a little bit. But the number 4 thing is that because they've been captive bred for so long, they're relatively non-aggressive. I mean, you'll find more timid ball pythons, just trying to go through my fingers, timid ball pythons than you will aggressive ball pythons. And normally that aggressive behavior is due to a feeding response, if they have one. Let's see if I can turn her around this way. So normally it's because of a feeding response. So what you'll find, I'll just scoot back some, is that you'll have a snake, and no matter what their size, as long as there's not a rodent around, they're free to play with. And like this one I just fed on Friday, so even with that, just a couple of days and I can handle her again. So that's one of the good things, is that, hey, they're pretty safe to have around without the risk of getting bit. Now, the hatchlings might be a little bit snippy, but they grow out of it, because that's just one of the things. They're hungry and they're scared. So once you develop that trust with them, which is relatively easy, because like I said before, you're probably not getting a wild-caught ball python, then she's going crazy, like I'm the snake tree. They're really easy to handle. So, hey guys, that's that for this girl, this pastel gravel. So I'll move right on to the 5th and final thing. All right guys, so the 5th thing, as I bring to you this red striped clown, and I had to get a male, so this is our male red striped clown. You can see how the red runs along the dorsal pattern, and it's on the head. It's a clown, you can tell by the pattern. And one of the good things about ball pythons, which you can't find in any other species of snake, or if you want to say one thing that's great about royal pythons, is that there is so much variety. There are so many pattern morphs. In fact, when I looked on Morph Market as of July 2023, there were 213 single gene pattern morphs. 213, and all of those pattern morphs, well, a lot of them you can combine with other pattern morphs, so you could end up with over 5,000 something pattern morphs. I'm just guessing there. And then somebody let me know the real numbers, because it is ridiculous. Like if you go to the world of ball pythons, you'll see like just thousands upon thousands of different pattern morphs that just deal just with the ball python. So with so many different colors and varieties, and remember guys, this is all the same snake. With so many different patterns, you can get the exact snake that you want for you, which you can't do that really with any other animal, just to where you can just say, oh, I want this kind. You can get a piebald, you can get a black pastel albino, you can get a desert ghost hypo clown, you can get whatever you want. But that's the one good thing about these guys, is that they're tame, they've been around, they're easy to feed, relatively small, and there's a lot of different colors for you to look at. So hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I got to show off some of the snakes that I don't normally show. And until next time guys, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you later. All right.